I first started working in this building 20 years ago, just as we were implementing Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It was a difficult time and it was a painful experience for me personally. There were no other open LGBT appointees, and anyone serving openly in uniform was surely in the process of being discharged. I know there were others in the building at the time who felt like I did, that we were all alone in the Pentagon.
Not as though I was out before Don't Ask, Don't Tell went away. My husband and I have been together for 13 years, and we're just legally married last year. So we've certainly had to learn how to play the wickets and who we could trust and who we couldn't trust. And waiting for that day to come 2 years ago, and it was finally dissolved, was a massive rucksack to drop.
We're very proud of everything the gay and lesbian community have contributed and continue to contribute. With their service, we are moving closer to fulfilling the country's founding vision, that all of us are created equal. It has never been easy to square the words of our forefathers with the stark realities of history. But what makes America unique, what gives us strength, is our ability to correct our course. Over more than 2 centuries, our democracy has shown that while it is imperfect, it can change, and it can change for the better. All of us should take pride in the role the U.S. military has played in this endeavor and continues to play.
I heard from a military spouse who had lived in what she called a circle of silence. She was scared to talk with friends and coworkers about her relationship with her wife, even during deployments, out of fear that word would get out and it might endanger her wife's career. I can't even fathom what an immense burden she bore, not to be able to confide in a single soul the entire time her wife was deployed. But today, Tracy Hepper and General Tammy Smith can breathe a little easier. Tracy, who leads an organization of LGBT military partners and spouses and families, was right at Tammy's side, pinning on her stars when Tammy became the first openly gay general officer last year. Woo!
I have seen a big shift as far as acceptance goes, and also just as being a woman in the military, I've also seen a great deal of changes in terms of the opportunities for women. I think that just as any type of diversity program, what we want to do is just celebrate our diversity, and I think these events are very important. And I think it's also very important, especially since the repeal is so early in the history of our military, is for our younger leaders to see the senior leaders, such as the Secretary of Defense today, who stood up and said, this is what our military is about, and this is what America is about. And I thought that was very important for his physical being here. I mean, it just really showed true leadership.
I've received a bit of attention since being nominated for the position of Undersecretary of the Air Force, and even more in the last few days since becoming Acting Secretary. Not all of it welcome, some of it quite negative, though some of it also rather imaginative. Many have speculated as to my agenda, what color I'll paint the planes, what designs I have on the uniforms. The truth, of course, is that I'm focused on doing my job, which means taking care of airmen, finding a way to shift resource from the Army and the Navy to the Air Force.
Well, I have a kind of split opinion on this concept of pride. I think it's terrifically important, but it's just as important to be a proud member of the military, frankly. I'm a soldier first, I'm a husband, I'm a Christian, and I also happen to be gay. And so I think it's important that people keep that in perspective. But events like this at the Pentagon are really important because for so long people have simply not been able to be who they are and to express what they did on the weekend, and have had to change pronouns and subtly lie throughout their entire career. So it's been a strange imposition of something that's so counter to our core values. So I'm here to be part of something that represents such great change for all of us.
The military continues to fulfill this country's promise. Our commitment to equality requires us to continue building a culture of respect for every member of the military, our society, and for all human beings. In his second inaugural address, President Obama reminded us that, quote, while freedom is a gift from God, it must be secured by his people here on earth. Securing those freedoms has required generations of patriots to fight for their fellow citizens, and it has demanded courageous leaders be willing to stand up for what they believe.